We don't have an exact date on this, but we think she was in her late 40s, maybe 48 or 49. The two large pictures up here were Jesse's grandparents, the Thomasons. Now, they owned a farm a couple miles away from here. Frank was born at the grandparents' farm in 1843. Then the family bought the return down here on the right-hand side belonged to Frank, though. The rest of these clothes belonged to Frank's wife. She was only about 5 feet tall and very petite, while Frank stood up a little bit over 6 feet. The golf bag and the golf shoes down there on the bottom belonged to Frank's son. Robert enjoyed playing golf with a girl named Z. Mims. Her name was really Zerelda. She was named after Jesse's mother when she was born. They just called her Z for short. Jesse and Z got married in 1874 after a 9-year engagement, and they had 2 children. The top picture up there next to the door was Mary Susan James, Jesse's daughter, and right below that was Jesse. And this was the original cabin. It was built in 1822 by a man named Jacob. Right now, this is the oldest standing building in the county, but it did have to be restored. The numbers and letters that you see on the walls over there next to the window were part of the restoration process. This particular bedroom was Zerelda's. She made the red quilt there on the bed. All the children were born there except for Frank, who was born in his grandparents' home. Back in the closet in the corner, there used to be a ladder going up to the loft above this room that extended over the kitchen, while the James children and some of the slave children slept. They had to sleep on the floor, on straw pallets, because there was a very low ceiling and there was not enough room for a bed. And the object between those 2 chairs was Jesse's original coffin lid, when he was buried out in the yard for 20 years. The county found the coffin lid in 1978. They were trying to locate his original grave, and it's right out there in the front yard by the white fence, back in the corner. And if you were interested in seeing the bullet holes in the door, they talked about the film strip. They're right down here. This is where the door. This room is probably most famous for the Pinkerton bombing of 1875. The detectives threw a railroad flare into this window, and it landed there on the floor in front of the fireplace. Dr. Samuel rushed in from the bedroom over there, and he panicked. He didn't know the flare had been soaked in kerosene, and so he kicked it into the flames. And it exploded. Pieces of metal shot out through the room, which is what killed Archie and Manuel Zerelda's arm. When the county restored the cabin here in 1978, they were able to save about 80% of the original material. So most of this is original. The one thing they couldn't save a whole lot of was the floor. The only old section is the one right here in front of the fireplace.
What is that?
That's the pot.
For what? For pumping the water? Okay. Leave it alone. It's working a lot better now, you know. Clear, everything.